can't quite make it out yet. Could it be one of these sea butterflies?
Possibly. I seem to have lost the YouTube. Back to zoom. Yeah, it looks like a sea butterfly, just the way it's swimming. Looks like the fins are up there on the top of the animal. Looks very transparent, as if it might be a Cleone of some sort. Can you see a hard shell? Or does it look soft?
It's definitely got a pink. The top part closest to it's the flapping part is pink coloured, and that's transparent underneath.
Okay. That looks like, is that a thalassocalus? No, it looks like a, oh, it could be. Thalassocalus with no gonads. Or no, it's a Medusa. Like two of the gonads have been eaten.
We're just having a laugh here. It's like listening to you and comparing you with bird watchers. They can tell, you know.
The Leptomedusa. Yeah, it's often they're very small cues that you can, yeah, it looks like a Leptomedusa. 4 radial canals, it's only 2 which have the gonads developed, small stomach in the middle of the bell. Still 60 meters above the bottom. Yeah. Coming up on a large target. You can see 3 white dots inside a larger circular structure. Looks like the middle dot's smaller than the outer 2. Could be a larvation house, perhaps. I'm afraid this is going to have to wait until we get the original video to identify these animals. Looks like a Fascinex siphonophore, perhaps. If it starts swimming in a sinusoidal nature, it could be Bugmania. Looks to have a very long Or is it salps? It has a repeating transparent and white structure, so it's either salps or a siphonophore, but I can't make out if it has nectaphores or not.
So Dougal, we're clearly pushing through that siphonophore zone. We're just not very far off the bottom now. But you expect to see more krill down in these depths?
That looks like a phronema, top left. Yeah, I'd be expecting to see lots of krill, lots of good food for the jellies. And whatever we're videotaping now is going to be swept up against the sides of the reef, providing food for the benthic animals as well. So I can just imagine octocorals or other benthic animals catching the krill or the arrowworms, the chetignates, or even the jellyfish and ingesting them. There's possibly quite an important source of food, the diel vertically migrating plankton, which come down to the deep depths during the day, being eaten directly by benthic organisms.
Yeah, the reef is only about a kilometre away from us now.
Okay, that looks like a jelly, not a phronema. Does it have a single swimming bell? Oh, it might be a Spheronectes. Is it a... Or it's two swimming bells? In my video, I'm only seeing like a very large white blob and a little tail coming off it. If it's got two swimming bells, even if it's got one swimming bell.
Yeah, it's a bit distant for us, about 90 metres away, I'm told. 190 metres, sorry.
Okay.
Wow. Yep.
Yeah, the only numbers I can read on the screen are the depth of 407 meters and the altitude of 45. Everything else is blocked out. Large gelatinous object. Another one, maybe a cell. Something else. Something else. Another long particle. Yeah, the compression algorithm is vector-based, looking at differences in movement of different particles. So some parts of the screen remain frozen in time for several frames and others are moving. We're recording in a codec called ProRes, where everything is pixel-based rather than vector-based, which will allow us to identify all of these animals as they're coming into view of the cameras. We'll be jogging forward and backward one frame at a time, trying to see those sometimes very small features of the morphology that will allow us to identify the animals to the correct taxa. About 35 meters above the bottom now, 415 meters depth. Are we expecting the bottom to be rocky here, or more loose sediment kind?
A bit of both there, Dougal. I expect sand becoming rocky in places. There are a whole lot of large blocks and boulders that tumble off the side of the reef, which is only about 1 kilometre away from us. So it'll be a mix.
Okay, so probably with a bottom like that, we wouldn't be expecting to see swimming sea cucumbers in any large numbers down here in the Bentop Lagoon.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I think too sandy for sea cucumbers.
We may see the occasional fish that's forayed out here, though. There's a large target. Maybe a ctenophore? Looks like it could be. Lobate ctenophore. Thank you for that, Nichol. Still 31 meters off the bottom. Still haven't seen a solmesis. Definitely has been a day for siphonophores. Every day is different. Are you also seeing very large differences in the benthic communities depending on, at the same depth, depending on the site?
Yeah, I have to say we are, Dougal. Of course, it's got a lot to do with currents at those deeper depths. So, for instance, yesterday we're down around 400 metres or 300 metres or so, and it was clearly swept by pretty strong seabed currents, and we ended up with lots of sand waves and dune fields. So, saw more of that there than any other place. Here, we're tucked in a little bit closer to the reef. We won't see those big sand wave fields, and we'll be able to get in amongst some of those larger rocks.
$15 meters above the seafloor now.
Still plenty of marine snow here, Dougal. It's no let up. We saw this yesterday too. Very, very dense all the way down to the seafloor.
Looks brighter on the bottom half of the screen there. You must have the seafloor coming into view. Okay, thank you very much for that. I'll switch over to YouTube now if you'd like to get a bit better video. And maybe add some comments in there.
And thank you, Dougal, for another wonderfully informative mid-water dive through the water column this morning. A real contrast of some of our other sites. And so we've hit the seabed now, and just going to skim along to just position ourselves with the ROV onto our first waypoint to begin our transect.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm looking forward to seeing those possible Nanomi Stephanopoulos specimens when they make it back to the museum.
Excellent, Dougal. Thanks again. And we'll switch mics now. So we're on the main mic.
Yeah, right. Was there to the left a big rock structure?
I don't see anything on the sonar, but I can turn around.
It was. I think it was on the sonar. I think it just went away.
There's something over here.
Oh yeah, what's that?
Nice big ball. Look at the scouring around it.
Yeah, that tells you about the current, doesn't it?
So it's ripping around the rock.
Yeah, it's scouring around it. Yeah.
Those ripples are beautiful. They kind of go away from the the depression.
Yeah, it's classic. Thank you, Adam. Good man.
I didn't, I wasn't going to try to. The first one, the second one.
So we're just en route to our start of our transect. On the way, we've seen this rocky outcrop. Thought we'd just have a quick look at it and see what's growing on it or in and around it. Cup coral.
So these look like maybe corals that have gotten pulled from the current and deposited here.
Benthic tunicle.
Oh yeah.
Harp comb jelly. Can be quite pretty.
Soft coral here.
Yeah. Or an anemone, perhaps an anemone underneath.
Oh, actually, it's weird. It's bifurcating. Not sure what it is.
We'll grab it and find out. Definitely don't put that in there.
No, it's okay. Must be a location where things are getting deposited.
Oh, there's a fish having a bit of fun.
Okay. It's like a sponge down into that rock bed.
Yeah.